right, let's hear it for the 80s Life House Band playing some Christmas music for us while we wait for people to get in here. Now, play us another one. Don't leave yet. Don't leave just yet. I'm going to wait a few minutes for a few more people to get in here, and then we'll get going. Yay! Few hiccups on that one, but that's okay. Thank you very much. You got some people here saying how talented you are. And on the last stream, I asked you all to send me some questions. Not too many, just a few of you sent questions, but I'm going to answer those in a few minutes. Once I do that, I will not be paying attention to the chat here. I'm just going to be answering those questions, and then I'll get back to you guys. But before I do that, let me see who's in here. Yellow Submarine, hello. Clay, hello. Ryan, what's going on? How are you? Those aren't pillows. Keith, how are you? BD, oh, you gave it away. You told people what you sent me. It was supposed to be a surprise. Yes. Hopefully next week, if I go live next week, which I plan to, then I will. I was going to show the recent items that people sent me. I've gotten a few items in the mail recently, and yours was one of the ones that I was going to show. So I'm not going to talk about it right now. It's a really cool item. I'm not going to talk about it now. I will next week. I think I will be showing all of that. But I will say thank you right now, but we'll get to it next week. Frankie, hello. Great new episode of Chips. Thank you very much. Blackbeard, thank you so much. Blackbeard says, dang, your son is talented. Thank you so much. Christine locations, we'll get to that in a few minutes. That's part of the questions that I'll be answering. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas to you in North Carolina. Hello, Eric. Hey, Vinny, how are you? Merry Christmas to you and your family as well, Blackbeard. Billy Hicks, Merry Christmas. Frank, how you doing? Hello, Mr. 80s Life. Your son plays with feeling. So important. Thank you very much. Hey, never played symphonies. How you doing? And yeah, Merry Christmas to everybody watching. Happy Hanukkah. Happy holidays, whatever it is that you may celebrate. Happy holidays to you and your family. Andrew, yeah, I definitely, thank you very much for that. And I do 90s filming locations too. I've always done 80s and 90s. I won't do anything beyond the 90s, at least not on this channel. And that's something I'll talk about also in a few minutes. This down a little bit. There we go. It's a little better. Want a Mr. Microphone for Christmas. Yeah, that would be great. Karen, thank you very much. Karen says, I love your channel. Thank you. Hey, Phil in Reno. Good to see you. Hey, Deb. Happy holidays in Australia. I didn't watch Simon and Simon too much. It's one of those shows that like I remember being on, just kind of being on around the house, but oh, Vinny, thank you very much. Sent me something on the way. Pac-Man, I'm glad that you were able to catch me. Sorry, just reading through all your stuff. And again, in a few minutes, I'm going to get to those questions that you guys sent to me. Can I not get the angle of this right? Sorry about that. It's really bothering me. Hey, Chainsaw74, how you doing? Good to see you. Julian, it's always a good time watching Commando. Would you say Chips jumped the shark when they had Bruce Penhall on as the cadet? I forget the other guy's name that replaced Larry Wilcox. Bobby Hot Dog Nelson and Bruce. Yeah, I mean, I think that was kind of the end of Chips, and they knew it. I still like that season. I think there's still good stuff. I mean, that's where we get the Moloch episode, but yeah, it was kind of when it was going downhill, unfortunately. Okay, so I'm going to stop reading the chat right now. So don't send me any questions here. I won't be paying attention for a few minutes because I'm going to. Yes, Point Break. Yes, absolutely. Last week I asked you all to send me some questions, and I would read them. Not too many people sent out questions, but I did get a few, and so I'm going to do that now. So I'm going to pull up that screen here, so I won't be looking at the chat screen. Give me a few minutes. And like I said, there wasn't that many questions, so it probably won't take us too long to go through these. And then hopefully afterwards we'll have a few minutes and then we can chat some more. Okay, so this first one comes from Bjorn, who is one of my longtime subscribers and Patreon supporters as well. And Bjorn sent me a few questions. So Bjorn asked, number one, do you, like me, slowly start to appreciate the 90s just as much as the 80s as time goes by? As you know, I'm a huge fan of the 80s. I was born in 77, but when it comes to skateboarding and lots of cool music, I started reminiscing on the 90s more than before. So The short answer to that question is yes. I wouldn't say that I appreciate the 90s as much as the 80s. Definitely not. But it is my second favorite decade. I do appreciate the 90s. And I think in general, as time goes on, like with each year, how do I say this? Like each year, another year gets another year from the past. I know what I'm trying to say, but it's not coming out right. Basically, like I used to like 90s music, but then I also kind of thought that it was like kind of gross at the same time. And then it got to this point to where I thought that all current music was so bad that then when I went back listening to 90s music, I was like, hey, that's really good. Oh man, that's really great. I really missed that. And it even got to a point to where now when I hear some bands from like the early 2000s, like, I don't know, like a band like Fall Out Boy or something. It's a band that I definitely don't like. But then when I compare it to a band that's out now, like a new band, I'm like, oh, well, you know what? Maybe Fall Out Boy isn't all that bad. But 90s music I do actually think is good, but I have learned to appreciate it more now than I used to. Skateboarding, I still prefer 80s skateboarding, but 90s is when skateboarding like really blew up. And yeah, I mean, the street skating just got crazy in the 90s. So, I mean, for me, I prefer the 80s skateboarding because that's where I started. That's what makes me really happy. But yeah, 90s is when skateboarding got crazy. So yeah, I appreciate the 90s almost as much as the 80s, but it'll never be as cool as the 80s for sure. And the funny thing, I've brought this up to my wife so many times. For me, I think the best years are like 84 to 94. That's the cushion right there. And you'll notice the later it gets in the 90s, it's like 90 was cool, 91 was cool, 92 was a little less cool, 93, 94, 95, 96, it starts getting like less and less cool the later you go. That's just my opinion. Is it still normal to ride BMX as an adult in California? I wish we could do it here, but it's really frowned upon. Probably because of the poor weather conditions over here. On top of that, they're harder to get. Like it's not normal, meaning not like it was in the 80s where you saw people riding BMX everywhere. There's this new, I don't know what they're called, but there's this new type of bike that like all the kids are riding. They kind of look like BMX, but they've got really big wheels and they just ride down the street doing wheelies on them. I don't know. I'm not into it. You'll see BMX every once in a while. A few years ago, I met, I can't think of his name. I met the actor who played Crew Jones in the movie Rad and his stunt double as well. And I was talking with them and they invited me to come down. They said that every week they get together in Huntington Beach and a whole group of them ride BMX. They do freestyle down there. So it is still going on. I think it's probably a little more underground. It is happening. I think what I see more often is like grown-ups riding little kids' BMX bikes. But yeah, it's not frowned upon. I don't think anybody cares what you're riding. That's weird that you said it's frowned upon there. Like, I mean, people would actually like think bad of you if you were riding a BMX. But yeah, here, no, you ride whatever you want. So it's going on, but not as much. Where do you keep your collection? It can't just be that one room. So if you look at my older videos, I had a room that was like just for my stuff. And then I had to, couldn't use that room anymore. I had to pack everything up. So right now, almost all of my stuff is in storage, except for what's in this glass case right here. This is the only thing. And my collection isn't that huge. I do have some cool stuff, but not nearly like my other friends who collect vintage stuff. It's not near what theirs is. But yeah, I did just get a new space that I'm going to be using to put my stuff in, and I'll probably be doing my live streams from there in the near future. And so pretty soon I will be taking most of my stuff out of storage and unpacking it. And when I do that, I'll probably make a video kind of showing some of the stuff as I unpack it. Is there still a big video arcade in your area? We have one here with over 500 machines. You pay 12 euros for unlimited plays. It's even better than back in the day. Yeah, we do have a few arcades still in the Los Angeles area. Both kind, the old school kind, where you just put in quarters, and we have that style that you're talking about as well. I think it's like 20 bucks an hour for unlimited games. But I'm not going to talk about it too much because I'm actually planning on doing a video on arcades in the near future. So yeah, I'll be doing that soon. There has not been a Patreon update for almost a year now. Will you give backers some perks like extra footage next year? So I've talked about that a couple of times, and I will make a Patreon video soon about it. I am not going to really be doing too much on Patreon anymore for a couple of reasons. One, Patreon has made it extremely difficult to use. It's just not, at least for me, I don't know about like for the supporters, but for the content creator, they have just made it like really difficult to use. I don't get alerts when people send me things. It's become a nightmare. But also on top of that, I've just gotten way too busy to post on Patreon as well as on YouTube, and like to make extra content for Patreon. And it's gotten so hard. And the thing is I don't want to promise those of you that are supporting me on Patreon that, hey, I'm going to be giving you these perks, and then I'm not able to do it. I don't want it. And I have been doing that. I haven't been able to, giving you the videos and the stuff that I said I would, and I feel awful about that. So yeah, pretty soon I will be making a video on Patreon, kind of just letting everybody know that there's no more perks on Patreon. Those of you that want to continue to support me on there just because you want to donate a little bit of money towards me, like that's amazing, and I appreciate you for it. If you want to cancel your Patreon because it's not what you signed up for and you're not getting the perks, I 100% understand, and no problem whatsoever. Like I said, I just want to be honest with all of you, and I don't want to feel like I'm not giving you what I promised. And I'd rather spend the time that I would take doing stuff on Patreon, I'd rather just put that time into making better YouTube videos. Did you own a banana saddle bike? I never did. I had when I was a kid, I had a Night Rider, like BMX style Night Rider bike. And then I had a Kent BMX bike, and then that got stolen, and I ended up inheriting like my brother's old Diamondback, which I don't even think it was a real Diamondback. It might have been. I don't think it was. Okay, thank you so much, Bjorn. That was Bjorn's questions, and some great questions. These are from Scott, and I don't want to give out people's last names because I don't know if they would want me to do that or not. But this is from Scott. This may be an idea for a video as much of a question. What was a typical week like growing up? I know you had school Monday through Friday, but what would you typically do for fun after school and on weekends? And what would teens typically do? Or is it so varied that it would be difficult to narrow it down? Also, movie locations for No Man's Land 1987 with Charlie Sheen. That is a favorite of mine. Thank you for making the videos that you do and sharing them with us on YouTube. Scott, thank you so much. Thank you for that question. And I've got your request for filming location. I've got it in here now. Yeah, I think you pretty much answered that. It's kind of so varied that I think it would be hard to really pinpoint it, and I think it would be varied based on year, based on from kid to kid. what area they lived in. Like for me, so I'll just answer for myself. When I was like elementary school, like before I got into skateboarding, I would say I would come home from school, I would do my homework, and then I would watch cartoons. Like what I think cartoons were on from like maybe three to five until the news came on. That sounds right. So I'd come home, I'd do my homework, watch cartoons, have a snack, and then probably have dinner, play with my toys, watch something, a TV show with my parents, take a bath, go to bed, and then on weekends, kind of the same thing, to play with my toys, go out and, run around in the yard. Then when I was like 7 or 8, I discovered skateboarding, and then we moved into an apartment building that had a pool. So for me, that was it. Once I got home from school, it was skateboarding, pool, just back and forth. And then Nintendo, watching movies with my brother. That was pretty much it. But I know for a lot of kids growing up in the 80s, what they did, like when school was done, they went to the arcade. I didn't really hang out at arcades. I wish I could say I did, but I did not too much. Not sure why. If I could go back and do it over, I would go hang out at some arcades. But so yeah, I think it would depend on what kid you asked. But I would say in general, in the 80s, what did kids do when they weren't in school? Arcades, movies, skateboarding, BMX, Nintendo, Atari, MTV, cartoons, I think that going to the mall. I think that pretty much sums it up. Thank you, Scott, for those questions. Okay, my computer is being slow. So while I'm waiting for that, I wrote down here, I've got a question that came in over Instagram, and this is from Troy, who I think I saw in the chat here. Troy asked if I have considered doing filming locations for Boys Next Door. So it was not on my radar, but I think it would be a great filming location. So definitely, I doubt it will happen anytime soon because I've got so much coming up, but I got it in here now. Thank you for suggesting it. And you've got it on my radar now. Okay, a few more questions. And this is from Steven. Steven asked, big fan, always enjoy your videos. I was hoping one day you could do Christine filming locations and 3 O'Clock High. So 3 O'Clock High, 3 O'Clock High was filmed in Utah. So the thing about stuff that's filmed in places, outside of LA, especially things that are more than like 3 or 4 hours away, I'll do them, but it's going to take me a little bit longer to get to it. Like I can't just, go drive to Utah tomorrow and film it. So I would definitely love to do 3 O'Clock High. I'm sure it's one that I will do at some point. I doubt I'll do it anytime in the near future just because of how far away it is. Christine, absolutely. I'm actually surprised I didn't do that one yet, like around the Halloween season. But that was a favorite growing up. So I'll definitely do Christine. Thank you for suggesting it. This is from Olivia, who I think is a new subscriber. She's been I've noticed her leaving me a lot of comments on videos, and very, very nice comments. Thank you so much, Olivia, for all of your wonderful comments you've left. Good morning. I missed your live stream yesterday. Have you ever been to any locations from the Brat Pack? 16 Candles, Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink. Also, my all-time favorite, the Golden Girls house. Thank you for what you do. Have a great day. Thank you so much, Olivia. I have done a video on Pretty in Pink. You can find it on my channel. And I think that's about all I've done so far for the Brat Pack movies because, again, most of them were not filmed around here. Most of them were filmed like in the Chicago area. And so of course I'll do those because those are some of my favorite movies, but just have not got to it yet. The Golden Girls house, I did a video a long time ago. It hasn't been seen by a lot of people, and honestly, it's not a great video because it was kind of early on in my YouTubing. But I did a video, I think it was a 2-part video, where I just drove around looking, showing some houses that were used in TV shows. And I did show the Golden Girls house. You can find that on my channel. But you know what? I think maybe I should redo that video and kind of think I can do a better job showing some of the houses. Again, thank you, Olivia, for that. This is from Kevin. Kevin asks, or Kevin says, great job. Great job and continued success on all the great movie location videos you do. My wish list for your movie videos would be just 3 off the top of my head: Heat, Collateral, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Again, great job. Keep up the great work. Well, Kevin, thank you so much for your kind words. Thank you for watching. Heat is definitely on my list. I'll tell you guys now. Heat was one that I had planned on doing a couple months ago, and for whatever reason, it didn't happen yet. But Heat's on my list. Collateral and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood are 2 new, so I will not be doing those. Those are way past 90s. However, it is my plan that sometime in the future, once this channel, once the 80s Life channel kind of gets a little more established, has a bigger following, I would like to start a second channel where I only do filming locations of all of the movies that I like that aren't 80s or 90s movies. Because there are a few movies from the early 2000s that I would really like to do filming locations for, but they're just not 80s or 90s. So eventually I will start another channel where I will do that. Okay, just a couple more questions here. This is from David. When filming outside of houses, have any of the owners not known or been surprised that their home was used in a movie? So I haven't had a ton of interaction with homeowners. I've had a few come out. Most of them knew. The one that I could think of that didn't know, and understandably so that they didn't know, was I did a video on the movie Suburbia, which, if you're not familiar with that movie, it is a low budget, independent punk movie from the early 80s. It's a cult movie. And oh boy, were those locations hard to find. I really pat myself and my wife on the back for that one. Really tough to find. And there is one scene in the movie. There's a girl that comes from a rich family. She runs away to live with the punks, and then she ends up passing away, and they take her back home, and she lives in this big house in a rich neighborhood. And we had so much trouble finding that house, but I don't even remember how we found it, but we ended up tracking it down. And Sheila was the character, Sheila's house. And the house was in Hancock Park in a very wealthy neighborhood. So we got there, and I don't like filming people's houses regardless. I don't like it. And I definitely don't like it when it's in fancy neighborhoods. So I got there and I was like, oh, all right, well, I just got to do it. So I got out and I was standing there filming the house, and I started to leave, and I said, you know what, hold on, I want to get one more angle. And all of a sudden the door flew open, and this older couple came running out, this older Korean couple, and the wife came running towards me. She was still up on the lawn. She didn't get close to me, but came running out, like kind of waving her arms. And then the husband stood on the porch holding his phone, filming me. I don't know what that was doing. So I'm like, oh boy. I stopped filming, and I kind of started to walk towards them to explain. And then they just started to go in the house. And I said, oh, hold on. A movie was filmed here. And the guy just said, I don't know. And he went inside. And then he sent out, I'm assuming his son, he was like in his 20s. He came out and I was like, oh, I was just trying to explain to them the reason why I was filming the house. There was a movie that was filmed here. And he's like, what? There was? What was the name of the movie? And I told him, oh, it's this movie, Suburbia. It's kind of a, not really well-known movie, but you can find it on YouTube. And I was just checking out the house and he's like, okay, thanks. And he closed the door. He didn't really care, but yeah, they had no idea. And I guess they didn't really care anyways. When I was doing License to Drive, I was outside of the house that was used for Mercedes' friend's house. And the owner pulled up and said, can I help you? And I said, oh, I'm just checking this out. It was used in one of my favorite movies. He said, oh, what movie was that? And I said, License to Drive. And he said, oh, yeah, this was the friend's house. And yeah, and he was really nice. And he said, it's, our house has been used in a lot of movies. When I was filming Mercedes' house for License to Drive, the people that owned that house didn't come out, but the next door neighbor was in his garage. And I caught him kind of hiding behind some boxes, like watching me. So I just kind of waved at him and said, oh, this was used in a movie. And he's like, oh, okay. Most people that I've encountered know like the Back to the Future houses. They know. Now one though, not a house, but they had no idea and they were really interested. The video that I just posted yesterday, the Chips Christmas watch video, the church that is heavily featured in the episode, I went there and they didn't like want to open the door for me. I tried explaining to them through the door and they're like, no, nothing was filmed here. What are you talking about? I'm like, all right. And I was about to leave. And then a guy came out and I explained to him and he's like, oh man, I remember Chips, but that wasn't filmed here. And I said, look, and I brought it up on my phone and I showed him the pictures and he's like, hey, that is our church. So then he brought me inside and he had me showing the pictures to all of the ladies in the church. And they were like, what? Like, why did nobody ever tell us that our church was used in a TV show? Like, this is so great. And then they were like, can you please send us those screenshots? So yeah, I'm going to be sending them all the screenshots and everything. They were really excited to find out that it was used in a TV show. So that was cool. I've had a couple other experiences like that with businesses where like I go into a business that doesn't look the same anymore, but I kind of want to look around and I tell them like, oh, this was used in so-and-so movie. And usually they just like, they're like, it was? I don't know what that is. Like, I don't care. Most businesses don't want to have anything to do with it, which is kind of a bummer. Okay, last one. Sorry if these answers are kind of long-winded, but I thought that would be the fun of having you guys send questions, is I could spend a little bit more time on them. Oh, this is a quick question. How about doing filming locations for the movie Zapped? Absolutely. I did a Valley video where I showed the old warehouse / Big Ben's music on Ventura Boulevard, and that was used in Zap, and I talked about it there that that was in Zap. But I would love to do a full Zapped filming location video, so I will do that. I see that you all were still sending me all kinds of stuff in the chat, so I've got a lot to try and get through here. So yeah, that was the questions that were sent to me. Those of you that sent those, thank you so much for sending them. I enjoyed reading your questions and answering them. Like I said, I've also been getting some cool stuff in the mail from some of you. And so hopefully next week I will go live again and I will be showing some of that stuff that was sent to me and thanking all of you properly. Okay, let's see. Let me try and get through a few of these comments here. A lot of stuff. What is your favorite 80s song? No way I could answer that. Too many amazing songs, amazing artists. But I kind of talked about before, Prince is my all-time favorite. Yaz, I'm a really big Yaz fan. Go-Go's, Phil Collins, Ramones, New Order, Madonna. Yeah, the list goes on and on. Favorite Duran Duran song? Yeah, I don't know. See, you should have sent me that so I could have thought about it. I don't, it probably depends on my mood. I really like Ordinary World, and it's weird because I remember when that song came out, I remember saying, "Oh, this is new Duran Duran," and I still, when that song comes on the radio, that thought comes into my head, like, "Oh, newer Duran Duran." Um, yeah, Troy, '90s skate era was good. Plan B, just so much. Girl. So many good skate companies, so many good skaters in the 90s. Ski, I'm glad you finally made it to a live stream. Ronald, hello. Korean Cardboard, what's going on? How are you? Have you ever found yourself liking a song or a show that you used to hate? All the time. And sometimes I feel really like gross about it all the time, especially songs that I used to, say, just like talk really bad about, and then I find myself humming it and I'm like, oh no, what happened to me? Wait, you're a skateboarding fan too? Going to the movies asks. Yes, absolutely. I have been a skater my entire life since I was 8 years old. I don't get to really skate anymore because my body is starting to malfunction on me. But like skateboarding will always be in my heart. It is, yeah, still a big love of mine. Ski, greetings in Wisconsin. How are you? Mark says, I just came across your videos very recently. I have watched a bunch of them and subscribed. Thank you, Mark. I'm really glad that you found them, and thank you for subscribing. Yeah, recently, I don't know what keeps happening, but recently there's been another surge in the video that I did for the movie Colors. Like 2 years ago, I think I did that. And there's been like another surge in people discovering that video. I'm getting a lot of comments from that video. So that's cool. The only thing that bums me out is that's one of my favorite movies. I've talked about this before, and I don't think I did that video justice. Plus, I found a bunch of more cool locations. So I plan on redoing Colors when I hit 100,000 subscribers. So I kind of wish people would wait to watch it, but hopefully a lot of them will watch the new video as well. Oh, I said hello to Korean Cardboard, but I see now that he left already. Oh, well. Well, thank you for stopping by. Oh, I wish I used to have a mongoose. Never did. Oh, okay. BD knows about the that HB group. I work across the street from the HB Pier. So cool to see him still killing it on his bike. Okay, so yeah, you know exactly what I was talking about. I want to say I forgot, like I had planned to go down there, and then the pandemic hit, and then I just, yeah, I never. I want to say he said like every Tuesday afternoon or something. They all meet up. I'm gonna have to go down there at some point. Serious question. Do you have a time machine to go back? Yeah, I wish. If I had a time machine, I wouldn't be on this live stream right now. A-team locations, definitely. A lot of cool locations that I can track down for that. I received the Kid and Play Funko Pops for Christmas last year, and I'm reading that, but I have them there too. How you feeling after the Rad Car Show win? I'm feeling good. I'm happy to have won. Darth, how's it going? Don't worry, your channel is great, and looking forward, what's next for 1993, meaning 2023? Damn, feeling old. Thank you, Wicked Network. Hardcastle and McCormick would be cool. Yeah, lots of cool TV shows to do. Kyle, my pleasure on the Grease 2 filming locations. I was pretty happy with that one. I thought it came out cool. Oh man, so much for me to catch up on here. Hey, I think you and I worked together at Six Flags. I ran the sound for the Roadkill kitchen that was outside Willoughby's, and I think you were a scare actor up there. So if you're who I think you are, then you're absolutely right. What's your name? Because I remember the person who ran the sound up there. And Roadkill Kitchen, I can't believe I forgot to talk about that in my Fright Fest video. But yeah, that was like such a huge thing up there in the Willoughby's area. But I remember the person who ran the sound, and she used to work in another section of Magic Mountain, and we were friends. Okay, I'm jumping ahead here. I see it here. My name is Gwen. Now, okay, I don't remember Gwen. The person that I remember doing the sound, her name was Michelle. And she, before that, worked backstage in another area. So yeah, I'm not sure if I know you or not. Forgot to mention I played hockey for the Norwalk Condors from 89 to 91. Grease filming location. You can see the logo on the side of the building in the movie clip you showed. Oh, how cool. I heard you were going to sell the Samurai. Where did you hear that? That is completely false. Enjoyed your videos about the LA riots. Thank you very much. That's one that I'm still very proud of, so thank you. Do Breakfast Club? Absolutely. I have an email address? I do. Take the time now to put this up. There is the P.O. box. If anyone has anything they want to send me, that's the P.O. box. And then, everyone got that? There is the email address. And then right below it is the Instagram. Please, if you are following me on YouTube, but not on Instagram, go follow me on Instagram. It's a completely different thing. I don't post on there quite as much, but I'm posting more. Right now I'm doing 25 days of 80s and 90s Christmas commercials. And I also post personal pictures from my childhood from the 80s, stuff like that. So Footloose would be a good one, of course. The Hot Chick. Funny enough, I just watched that with my wife like a couple weeks ago. Will movies ever be as impactful as movies from the 80s and 90s? I don't think so. And I know, I probably just sound like, obviously I'm saying that because I'm the 80s guy, but I don't think so. Some good movies still come out every once in a while, but nothing that matches up. Lords of Dogtown would be great. If you had to leave California, what state would you like to live in? Can't answer that. We have talked about it, and we can't find anything. I would love to move to the East Coast, but I can't deal with the cold. So Bones Brigade video locations, definitely on the list. Just hang tight on that, I promise. Yeah, Zapped. I should get into Magic Mountain and do that while I still can. 'Cause that would be a fun one to do. Brady Bunch episode. Are you talking about Magic Mountain? No, that was filmed in, oh, what was the name of that park? If you're talking about the theme park they go to, that was in like Ohio or something. But the park is still there. I've looked into it. I want to go. It looks like almost exactly like it did in that Brady Bunch episode. And sorry if I'm missing some of your questions. There's a lot. Like it was just while I was reading those other questions, they just kept coming in. So I have not done Fletch filming locations yet. That's a favorite, so you know I'll do it. Hello in Cincinnati. How you doing? I am not the original owner of the Samurai. No, I got it like 5 years ago, maybe. That's my second one. I had another one before that. Vinny, I remember those ABC after school specials. I don't remember anything about them. So long ago. Hey Heath, what's going on? So good to see you. Hello in Wichita, Kansas. I did not watch the 2022 Fletch. Sorry, I don't have any interest. My apologies. Sorry to be negative, but I would go back to 1985 ASAP. Yeah, you and me both. I'm a big fan of Chips. Thank you for your videos. Awesome job. It is my pleasure. Thank you for watching them. I'm glad you enjoy them. How many more Chips locations will you be doing? I mean, right now I would say it's endless. Well, I mean, obviously it's got to end at some time. The series ended, but yeah, no plans for stopping. There's still so many fun episodes that I can do. So Samurai is off the Chiz Arts, buddy. Have not seen one like that in 20 plus years. Yeah, thank you, Heath. I hear that a lot. A lot of people telling me, you just took me back to high school. You used to come back into our break room. The roadkill actors weren't nice, but you were. I worked in police academy. My gosh, why can't I remember you? I feel awful now. Well, thank you for saying that I was nice. I don't remember. Shoot me I don't know, shoot me an email or something. Maybe you have a picture you can remind me. That's cool that you worked the police academy show as well. Do you at all remember a girl named Michelle that also did sound for Roadkill? Ooh, that's a good question. Cindy Cahill or Bonnie Clark? I don't know. I got to think about that one. It's always good to see all of you talking amongst yourselves. I kind of like that when I do these live streams, it gives you all a like a forum, a place to chat about the 80s with each other. That's cool. You know, I've said it before. I think I have some of the best subscribers like anywhere. You guys are just really great. So it's cool to see you all get together and chat about the 80s. Just One of the Guys, absolutely one of my favorites. Just you've got to get back out to Florida again. There it is, Kings Island, outside Cincinnati. That is the one. Thank you very much. And yeah, I've watched some videos on it. It looks almost just like it did. I would love to get out to that park at some point. I remember Amazing Stories. Used to watch it during dinner. I would eat my Swanson's TV dinner and watch Amazing Stories. Have not done Heavenly Kid locations. Just recently watched it with my son for the first time. Well, it wasn't my first time, my son's first time. I sent Ina your Fright Fest video. That's funny. Yeah, I'm still in contact with Ina. Still friends with her. I don't know if she knew that I was doing those videos though. I think Ina is probably like one of the only people that I still am in contact with from Fright Fest. Except for the people that like were already my friends. How about Just One of the Girls with Corey Haim? Hardly anybody talks about that movie. Oh man, that's a good one. You're right, no one does talk about it. Oh, thank you so much, Korean Cardboard. You're back. I thought you left. And I'm going to be getting out of here in a few minutes. So I want to try and get through a few more of your comments and questions. Well, my pizza is late. Going to call the California Highway Patrol. See, you learned something from Chips. No matter what is wrong, you call the CHP. They're not just for the highway. Sorry, reading through so many comments here. I saw a video short with Diane Franklin asking where you were during a dinner with someone. You going to meet up and do the filming locations video? Yes, we are planning to do that sometime early next year. Should be very exciting. Vinny, thank you so much. I appreciate that, and I will definitely stay away from the Nagatomi Towers. Some bad stuff has happened there in the past. Gwen, okay, sounds good. Shoot me an email, and thanks for stopping in. Wildcat, thank you so much for that. I will definitely keep going. Thank you for the videos. One of my favorite channels on YouTube. Thank you so much, Troy. I appreciate that. Yeah, Airheads, same location as the towers. The problem is it's really hard to film there. Like they don't want anybody anywhere near that building. So see what I can do though. Do I have any Mad Balls from the 80s? I only have, I have the Repops. My son has one original that he got as a gift. They're really hard to find. All the ones that you find from the 80s are starting to fall apart, deteriorate. All right, well, that was fun. I enjoyed reading all of your comments and questions. And like I said, next week I should be getting on here and showing some of the stuff that some of you sent to me, which is so nice of you to do. And yeah, if you haven't watched it yet, Chip's video dropped yesterday. That is up now, and got some other cool stuff. Probably another new video dropping this weekend, I think, and some more stuff next week. Definitely a few more things before the end of the year. Don't know if I'll have another filming location video up by the end of the year. I got a lot going on right now. P.O. Box. Korean Cardboard's asking about the P.O. Box. There we go. I'll show it one more time. Thanks for everything you do for us, Kurt. Double down. It is my pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you for appreciating what I do, and thank you for supporting what I do. Thank you all. I say it, but I can never say it enough. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you to each and every one of you. I've said it a million times, but I will continue to say it. I never expected this channel to get like this. I expected, you know, I would post a video and maybe a couple hundred people would watch. So yeah, to have thousands and, you know, thousands and thousands of you watching and supporting me, it's amazing. So I can't say thank you enough. It really, it means so much to me, and not stopping anytime soon. So much more to come for 2023. And yeah, thank you. So with that being said, I should see you all next week. Pretty sure I will be here next week. And hopefully you are all having a good holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah to all of you. Thank you all for the support. And like I said, hopefully I will see you all next week. All right, have a good night. Have a good rest of your week. Have a great weekend. I just realized tomorrow's Friday, isn't it? So have a great weekend. Take care.